What's happening, good folks? How y'all doing? Welcome back to an episode of Real Talk with Tay, where we talk about TV shows and sometimes movies. Today, we're talking about a TV show. Um, how do I put this? Doing YouTube work has been fun. I've enjoyed it. It's got its ups and its downs, right? But one thing that I love is having you guys come back for whether it's the podcast or the Black History. So before I start the show, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed and stayed for whatever you came for. Big shout out to Mr. Bellamy because he consistently watches these episodes when they release. So big ups and thank you to him. Uh, yeah, let's get it started. Hopefully my head's not cut off in the episode. Um, so Mr. Bellamy requested season 4, episode 19 of Everybody Hates Chris, episode Everybody Hates Back Talk. And when I watched the episode, okay, so let me do a recap. So basically in the episode, Chris and Rochelle, which is their mother, they get into a little argument about some dishes. But for Chris, it was more than dishes. But to Tasha, but to Rochelle, it was disrespect and back talk. So she asked him to do the dishes. He told her no because his siblings were just sitting there watching TV like they didn't have shit else to do. Basically. So Rochelle tells Julius. Julius tries to set Chris straight. Chris ends up rebelling against Julius and still telling his mama no. So they end up getting into a big argument about food, about kitchen use, utensil use, and she ends up putting him out the house. He ends up going to her hair salon, talking to Vanessa, who pretty much tries to give him some game. And then Julius ends up talking to Rochelle about what she did and how what she did was wrong. He ends up making amends and fixing the problem, right? And then in the end, tells Chris to go wash the dishes. Now, let me break this down for you real quick. In a black household, telling a parent no is basically like cussing at them. Hell, in other households, I'm starting to realize that some of them it's the same thing and some of them it's not. But in a black household, telling a parent no after they asked you to do something, yeah, that's like cussing at them. That's like raising your hand damn near. Now, where I understand Chris at is, I get it. Why do you keep asking me to do stuff when you got two other able kids to do stuff? I get I'm the oldest, but damn, you got two other kids that are able to do something. So why the hell do you keep asking me to do everything? I get Chris. I get where he's coming from. Where Chris made a mistake at is, instead of telling her no, I would have did the dishes. But afterwards, I would have had an honest conversation with my mama. I'd have put my mama to the side and I'm like, Mom, I understand I'm the oldest, but you have two other willing and able kids, but you just keep asking me to do the dishes all the time and clean up all the time. Mom, what exactly is going on? Why do you keep having me do it? I know I'm the oldest, but you got two other kids, so why can't they wash the dishes? You know, I had a conversation, something more respectable. Now, when he doubled down on the no, he knew he was wrong. This is where Chris, I get he was standing for himself, but he knew he was wrong for the way he was handling it. Not because he was wrong for saying, hey, I'm not going to keep washing these dishes by myself and I got siblings. But it was more so he was wrong because he knew he shouldn't have been talking to his mother like that. Point blank in a period. But where Rochelle messed up at is, you can't put all that pressure on your oldest child to do everything in the house. Yes, I get you trying to get them prepared to live on their own, but you have two other kids that still need to learn how to live on their own, that still need to know what it's like to fend for themselves and clean up. But where Rochelle was right at is, you don't backtalk your parents. Unless it's something completely outrageous. But her asking him to wash the dishes wasn't outrageous. Was it being fair? Not necessarily. But at the same time, I just would have washed the damn dishes. Sometimes back talking, arguing with your parents about shit ain't even worth it. Wash the dishes and then go have a conversation later about the situation. But to me, where Rochelle went overboard was all the not cooking him dinner no more, not cooking him breakfast no more, then getting upset when he bought his own breakfast and cooked his own breakfast, and then putting him out the house. Like that was childish to me. I like Rochelle's character, but she can go overboard real fast. And to me, as a child, I feel like I had siblings, and my mama didn't play that unfairness. Everybody had to clean up. I knew how to wash dishes at the ages 5 and 6, somewhere around there. I knew how to do laundry by the time I was 10. Uh, my siblings knew a lot earlier than me, but they were a lot. They were not a lot. They were older than me. Um, like I know how to clean up a house. Fully clean up an entire house by the time I was 10 years old. Like fully, when I say fully clean, I mean like do laundry, wash dishes, sweep the floor, mop the floor, wash walls, clean baseboards, uh, clean the bathroom. Even though I hated cleaning the bathroom. Keep my room clean, keep my shoes nice and tight, keep my clothes on a hanger and some clothes in the drawer. Like I knew how to keep a house completely functional and clean. Now I understand from a parent's perspective, when you ask your child to do something, they should do it, right? But what a lot of parents mess up on is the whole I'm your parent, you do as I say and not as I do. And then not being fair and equal. Now, if they only had one kid, that'll make sense. But since they had multiple kids, that wasn't fair to keep making Chris clean up. Like, I didn't get that either. Now, one thing I want to point out that may be minor to many people in this episode, but major to me, is I noticed in a lot of sitcoms, they say when a woman's when a woman's right, you apologize. When a woman's wrong, the man apologizes still. I don't like that. I know that was a thing back in the day that they used to have to do. Even if your wife was wrong, you just apologize. I don't like that shit. And one thing that I pride myself on, especially in my relationship, is I don't. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm gonna apologize. I'm not gonna make him apologize or make him feel like he was wrong. So he's just, I'm not doing all that. And I'm gonna make sure my kids understand that when I have them. You don't apologize if you weren't wrong. If so, what if somebody mad? They'll get over it, and if they don't get over it, that's on them. That ain't on you. I'm also gonna teach my daughters just because you a woman don't mean you always right. My son's gonna understand that just because she a woman don't mean she always right, and they need to be held accountable for when they wrong. Stop, stop teaching them that, and I hope because I don't my nephews I ain't teaching them that either. A woman is not always right, and I know it's just a sitcom joke, and I know that they playing off of the fact of how it used to be back in the day, a woman's right no matter what. Hell no. But that stemmed from that woman's right no matter what. That shit stemmed from like um what is it? Um my grandma used to tell me all the time. Oh, so back in the day when men would mess up, they would go ahead and accept that their woman's right and everything, so that they mess ups won't come to light. That's I'm not getting the exact wording right, but my grandma used to explain it to me because I used to be confused about the whole she's always right bullshit. I don't know if it's because they just don't want to hear her yapping. I don't know. I never really liked that shit. She wrong, she wrong. God damn it. But yeah, the episode was good, but I always hated that. That like in the entire episode, in so many ways, Julius he did the right thing by setting the record straight and fixing the problem. But with Julius, for me, you should never told your son that women are always right, because they not. Stop telling y'all boys that. They wrong. They be wrong. And it's okay. We be wrong. Y'all be wrong. And it's okay. But before I watched that episode, I had watched the previous one, Everybody Hates Cars, season 4, episode 18. And in that episode, you seen Rochelle trying to tell Chris what he can and can't do with his own money. He was like 17, I think. Had the money to buy his first car. Instead of Rochelle explaining to him why having a car can be a problem. She tried to tell him he couldn't have a car. Instead of just saying, your car gonna cost you a lot of money. So like what you notice with Rochelle's character is that she means well, just don't know how to say it right and don't know how to follow up correctly. She means well. She's not a bad mom. She's a great mom, but she just don't know how to go about things the right way. Sometimes she kind of over 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 not overstep. She puts her foot in her mouth a lot because sometimes all it takes is just to be um, a thinker, and tell your kids the truth about something. Because honestly, if Chris would have just went to his mom like, "Mom, why do you keep asking me to wash the dishes all the time? You got Drew and Tanya. Why they can't wash dishes?" And if she could explain what her reasoning was, which to be honest, there was no real reason to have Chris consistently wash the dishes at all, at all. There was no real reason for Chris to be the only one washing the dishes. She made a good point. I'm the only one who washes clothes, who makes beds, who puts laundry away, who cooks, who cleans, and all that other stuff, besides the dishes, apparently. And she made a good point about that. But however, that's you putting all that on you. I get you're a housewife and you don't really work because your husband works. But then again, you got two other willing and able children. Make them help you do the laundry. You know, make them learn how to fold their own clothes. But what parents don't want to tell you is a lot of times the reason why they don't put their kids in a position to do certain stuff is because it gives them a moment of peace. When you're cleaning up, nobody really bothers you. When you're doing laundry, nobody really bothers you. When you're doing something other than sitting around, nobody really bothers you. So that gives them opportunity to have some type of peace and some time to themselves, which is why they usually do all the cooking and cleaning and stuff like that. But honestly, my mama wasn't playing that. Once we got a certain age, we start learning how to clean up real quick. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You wasn't getting no free ride around here. You gonna wash something. You gonna clean something. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm glad my mom taught us stuff real early. My grandma too, because looking at these kids nowadays, they make me sick. But back to the back talk episode. And all in all, um, I agreed with both parties, just not to the extent that what they took it. I agree with Chris when it comes to you're not gonna make me clean up this house or clean up the dishes all the time by myself. I got two siblings, which is true because I was thinking to myself like, why don't she do it like my mom used to do back in the day? One wash, one put them in the little dish rack, or dry them off whichever way we needed to go about it, just depending on what it was. So, and then the other one sweeps the floor, wipes down the counters, or wipes the counters and sweep the floor. That's how my mom used to do it. So I didn't understand why that couldn't have been a thing. Like you wash the dishes, Tanya, you wipe off the counters, clean off the stove, and or vice versa because Drew's older. He could have wiped off the stove, wiped off the counter, and then Tanya could have swept the floor. It could have been an equal opportunity in there, but instead, you trying to make one kid do it all. But hey, who am I? I don't know. I'm running out of things to say, so I'm about to end the show. I couldn't think of nothing else I really wanted to say besides that. I was gonna say something else actually to you. Hold on. There was something else about the episode that oh, when Tanya and Drew were sitting down watching TV, right? And Chris was like, "Nah, I ain't washing them dishes." And Rochelle ended up backing down. She lost the battle, but she knew she wasn't gonna lose the war. One thing that I didn't understood that I didn't really understand is because Drew wasn't that much younger than Chris. So if you wanted to play that younger card, Tanya's the only one I could see you saying maybe not having her wash the dishes. And I get it. A lot of times parents don't make their kids do shit like that because of like knives and shit. So they don't want them to, cut themselves or cut anybody else. So I that part I get. But at the same, excuse me, I'm being nosy because the TV's still running. But at the same time, she ended up making them wash the dishes anyway. So you didn't do nothing but prove Chris's point. They're capable of washing the dishes. So why the hell did you ask me to do it when they could have did it together, or they could have came in there and helped me clean up? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. There was that whole thing. Um, Oh. And then when Mr. Omar thought he was dying, this fool was trying to hit on Rochelle the entire time. And this is where keeping purrs around is a problem. First of all, Mr. Omar would have had to get up out of my house, disrespecting me and my husband in my home. I don't care about you dying. You got to go. Just because you dying don't mean it gives you a free pass to be disrespectful and call yourself trying to flirt and hit on me. Not gonna happen. Get your ass out. That's what I would have had to do. But what did he call? I forgot he called Julius a bald head flink something. I don't know. But Julius, I ain't gonna lie. Julius and Rochelle, they help make the show. But Julius boy, sometimes he be acting like he act like he ain't big enough to just knock somebody to smooth the fuck out. Cause Mr. Omar would have got knocked the fuck out playing with me and mine. I would knock Omar smooth the fuck out playing with me like I'm short. But when he found out he wasn't really dying, and Julius he gave in too early. I know he all about the money, but he gave in too early. Mr. Omar would have had to find somewhere else to live. You flirting with my wife. You disrespected me because you thought you was dying. Don't get you a pass to disrespect somebody because you thought you was dying, nigga. What kind of shit is that? What kind of shit is that? But oh, real quick, if y'all haven't seen the Everybody Hates Chris, you probably should watch it because it's actually a really good show. But the episode beforehand, Everybody Hates the Car, that was too funny. Like, I ain't gonna lie, being a car owner does suck because I've had my brake line cut before. I've had my windows busted out before, all because somebody thought I was somebody that I wasn't. So they never stolen it. Well, the second time they bust my windows out, they did steal something. It was my fault because I shouldn't have left the shit in the car. They stole one of my tablets, which I don't know why you stole it because you got a factory reset it to even get into it. So it just sucks though because I had lost a lot of pictures that I had of my niece and nephews. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, interesting episodes. But no, that's pretty much it. Um, Drop another suggestion in the comments. I probably will go back to doing movies randomly. Um, I know Spotify and iTunes is not up to date yet. I am several seasons and episodes, not seasons, sorry, but several episodes behind on Spotify and Apple. So one of these days, I'm going to sit back and get it done. I just been on the road with my streaming and trying to, replenish my happiness and kind of take my mind off of some of the stuff I've been dealing with. So I ain't gonna lie, I just really kind of been like in just a different headspace lately. So um, I'm still doing the podcast, of course. I haven't gave up on either one of the podcasts or my Black History. I just need to do better with my time management and start prioritizing things the right way. And yeah, that's what I plan on doing. But if you got any other suggestions, let me know. Sorry if I seem tired. I kind of am a little bit. Um, that's why I said I got to get back to prioritizing myself properly because I ain't gonna lie, I haven't been getting the proper sleep, proper eats. Um, I just haven't been doing the best. I'm not saying I'm slipping back into any type. Well, I might be slipping back into depression. It's been a lot going on, and um, I've tried to fight it on my own and battle it on my own, and I'm just losing. So at this point, I've turned it over to God, and I'm trying to let Him handle it. Um, but I'll keep y'all posted. Maybe one day I'll be able to sit down and give y'all a update on life vlog and just pour it all out to you. So, but in the meantime, in between time, I appreciate y'all for rocking with your girl, sticking around, letting me chit chat your ears off. This has been another episode of Real Talk with Tay. Everybody Hates Back Talk, episode 19 of season 4. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I'll see y'all next week for another episode. Peace out.